Hi, David. You're going to love me for this one. Ticketing. But the Manchester United game, they obviously charging £46. Can you just ask me a question? Last year we had an instance in the Capital One Cup where Tottenham actually demanded a certain amount of tickets for a certain amount of price, i.e. £30. Is that true? And also, was that with Luton moaning and groaning because we put such a low price on the tickets so we could get the fans into the ground, and then hearing from actual Luton's ticket office that they were asking whether anyone else wanted to donate any extra money to pay because we actually give them low price tickets. Do you talk to Manchester United regarding the price of them? Because I understand that Tottenham are asking for such and such at £30 a pop, where I think Norwich would have been quite happy to give the fans £20 a pop. Bums on seats, less money, more seats, same money. I don't know.
Tottenham didn't ask for any pricing. I think we've admitted at a function like this one that we got the price wrong for Tottenham. Tottenham fans turned up for that game, but we obviously only had a half full Carrow Road, so clearly our fans were disgruntled at the £30 adult price. So we got that wrong, and whether
we got the result right there.
Yeah, yeah, we got the pricing wrong, and obviously we then took that on board for the next tie. Luton Town wanted us to charge higher prices because they felt that we could sell out Carrow Road at a higher price. We always attempt to price the game here to sell out, and the ideal for me would be to sell out if it's a 3 o'clock kickoff at 2:58 and there's no tickets left. That would be perfect marketing for a game. It's never quite like that, is it? Games will sell out well before, and sometimes you'll have some tickets left, although we haven't had any left so far this season. As far as Manchester United is concerned, is that you can query the prices, and we did. We think £46 for adults is a lot. I know that they've done these special offers for heroes and groups and whatever, and I think their concession prices are okay. But £46 for a Capital One tie is expensive. If there's an argument between the clubs, then it ends up going to the league, in this football league in this case, or the FA for the FA Cup. They will 9 times out of 10 back the home club.
Do you actually get a percentage of the costs of that coming back to the club then?
Yeah, no, cup ties, it's a 50-50 split. It's a 45-45 split, actually, and the rest goes to admin.
It doesn't. The logic of the £46 is if you ever go on the Man United website and you go and look at the seating, obviously with Man United's fan base, that ground for this game that we go, I mean, luckily enough I'm going to the game, but I would have thought there'll be at least 68,000 there because it's all red everywhere you look, so it's going to be massive. But just as a matter of interest, you could have watched Bayern Munich play Man City for £40.
Yeah.
And to me, Champions League or Capital One Cup, it don't make sense.
No, it's the same with Manchester United. I think their Champions League ties are priced at the same £46 for adults.
But they are actually charging their home fans £36. That's the thing that I can't understand.
Yeah, I think there's a few sort of smoke and mirrors attempts going on, but they will be over 60,000. Well, they tell us the crowd will be over 60,000, and at £46. So if it had gone to any other body for a ruling, they would have found in favour of the home team. That's for sure. The free coaches, we think, is the least we can do. Yeah. Because this game is unbudgeted to us, so it's new money for us. And of course, we're in Manchester twice in a few days, aren't we? So we thought we would help a little with the Manchester City pricing outside of the money that we've put aside from our funds for supporting away travelling Norwich City fans this year.
My question's also for Chris. That's Eddie from Blanket Boulevard. Chris, going on from what you were saying about the 2 9.5s or the way Liverpool play, last year when I came here, you were very honest and open about how you were going to get Wes in the team. And then after you did get Wes in the team, you were quite successful with the way you got it. This year I want to ask you, do you foresee getting Gary Hooper and Ricky Van Wolfswinkel in the same side? Do you see a way where you can start with both those players in a similar way to what Liverpool has done?
I think I was waiting for that question, actually. And I know that's what most people would like to see. But probably going back to a little bit, and I'll go on to the answer to your question. Certainly, in the Premier League, with the formation that most teams are playing, which is with an extra player in midfield and at times with some teams flooding that midfield area, it certainly is more difficult these days to play two number 9s high up the pitch. What I have endeavoured to do in some games this season is Johan Hermander, who joined us. Johan's a player that predominantly was a number 9. Certainly in his time at Bolton, played winner 2 in Galatasaray, but can play anywhere across that front line. And what I endeavoured to do with him was to play him with Ricky, but play him just a little bit deeper off of Ricky. Do I feel that Gary could play in that role? Yes, I do. But as always, it's about the process going into each game and what is the right game. I am also very conscious that we lost a lot of strikers certainly over the last year, and our endeavours in the summer was very much to replace with what we felt was better quality. That can be in different ways. That can be in a starting position. That can be certainly most definitely to give us more competition. Giving us more competition also gives us more competition from the bench. And certainly in the last few games, it's been really pleasing to see what options that we've got from the bench to be able to change, whether that be 60 minutes, 65 minutes earlier in the game. So our first priority was to strengthen the attacking options that we have. I think we've done that with Nathan Redmond. I think we've done that with the 3 strikers that we've brought in. It's now my responsibility to get the right formulas. So perhaps going back to what the question was, yes, I do think they could play together. Difficult for them to play both very high up the pitch together. There'll be certain games possibly that will require that one. Generally, it will have to be one playing off the other. I think Gary's perhaps the more natural one to play off a little bit. Ricky's strength is very much trying to get into the box and making forward runs. But of course, it's all around the strategy for whichever game that we're going into.
How do you know one of our youth team players are ready for the first team until you give him the chance?
I think it's because we take a very keen interest, and if we're fortunate at Conley that our development group train on the next pitch to us, and the next pitch is the youth team group. There would be various sessions during the season, during the pre-season, where the development group would be training with the first team group, sometimes as a whole and sometimes as individuals. And amongst that development group, there will be the ones that perhaps have made better progress than the others. It's normal. And the ones that have made better progress than the others would be around that first team group, or training with the first team group, or us monitoring even more so. So I would be very disappointed as a manager, and perhaps more so as a coach, if I didn't feel that I'd been able to see the improvement in players, that we hadn't monitored them, that we hadn't given them an opportunity to train with the first team and be around that first team group. So that's the starting position. And amongst that, when there is a player that has made progress through that system, and our academy and development group have done some wonderful work with these players and made fabulous progress. And I can only speak about the year and a bit that I've been here, but been very impressed. And we all know that we're on the back of a very successful youth team season last season. So they're the processes that take place. And as I said, I'd be very disappointed to feel that I hadn't been able to monitor or see every player's progress, but particularly the group that are in that development group that are around us more. And then, of course, it's about the right time. It's about whether a player has made the right progress. And we have a strategy here at the club that we want to bring players through. And that's why we've spent the money that we have done on our academy department, because we want to see players come through the system. And of course, when players come through the system, we all benefit from that.
Thank you. My name is Richard Bland. Ricky, can you tell me if we're going to appoint an under-21 manager? You did write in your notes that we were.
Yeah. We have made an offer. The candidate we're speaking to works in another organisation, so it'd be wrong for us to declare that. I'm sure I could keep this a secret in the room, but somebody might let it out. So I am very confident in the next 7 days, once he's informed his employers that he's leaving their organisation, that we'll be able to declare that. So wheels are in motion and an offer has gone out to the candidate.
It's a question really for Chris as a football issue. We've touched on it. David's slides showed very clearly the churn in players over the transfer window, and I was struck by the churn in strikers. A number of strikers have left the club, and Chris has mentioned how we've recruited better. Chris has also mentioned, how he's got every confidence in his coaching staff. Nevertheless, I think I'm right in saying newly recruited strikers have only managed 1 goal in the Premier League in 7 games. So if the players are great and the coaching's great, where are we going wrong?
Well, it's a very good question. What we did speak about was the strikers that we've brought in, the offensive players that we've brought in that we felt would be an improvement in the quality of player that we have at the club, and it's always been our aim from last season recruitment last summer to the recruitment this summer. I think with Gary, unfortunately for us, he got injured at the worst possible time, which was 1 week before the season started. And of course, if we're speaking about Ricky, you are right, he has scored 1 goal in 7 games. If I look at Ricky's contribution in the games, then I don't think anybody can fault his effort and his determination. And what he has done is he's a top-class individual, and when he arrived, spoke very, very well about the club, certainly had done his homework and had great knowledge about the club, and he is one that's generally very excited to be here, as is Gary and as is Johan. But for me, it's about getting that right formula. It's about form. Somebody like Ricky that is used to scoring goals. He has it on his CV. You can look at other clubs that will have strikers that perhaps haven't scored the goals that they would like, and it's a way of life for them. And guarantee that when you have a striker of the quality of Ricky, that if he's gone through a period and he has to have a period of settling in to get to know the division, to get to know the quality of the team he's up against, is that it comes good. He's somebody that's used to scoring goals, and I have every confidence that he will do. But I think you can say that about other members of the team. It's okay for us improving and making the improvements that we have. Leroy Fur might be another circumstance, another individual that I think has got better in the period of time that he's been here. And sometimes it takes that player, and particularly a striker, sometimes it takes that little bit longer to settle in than what they would like. But I have every confidence in the strikers that we have. As I say, it's about me making sure they get the right formula that can see us winning games, giving ourselves opportunities, creating chances, and certainly in the last 4 games. And that's taken the Villa game into it as well. And I know we were all very bitterly disappointed with the result of that game, but I think as regards the amount of ball that we had in the final third and the crosses that we got into the box, the efforts at goal was probably more than any other game. That's any other game that I've been involved with at Carrow Road. Going on from that, we've had 2 good away performances, and I was really delighted by the response from the supporters after Sunday's game. You know, considering it was a game that we were bitterly disappointed to lose, but the reaction of the supporters is how it's always been. We have a support, yourself included, that want the best for this football club and want to see the best football here. And taking all of that into consideration, we certainly feel that in the last few games we've got more formulas right than wrong. But certainly as regards our strikers, we brought them in for a reason, and we brought them in to score goals, and I'm very confident that they will do that.